Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. Today is 10/22/2025, and it is Wednesday. It's my baby's birthday. She's 6. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's the worst. What we're going to do today, hi, Mr. Pike, how are you? What we're going to do today is we are going to go over Donna Adelson's emails. Now, if you guys haven't heard me talk about Donna Adelson, it's because we haven't yet on this channel. I highly, highly implore you to go and watch the Donna Adelson trial with Emily D. Baker on her channel and watch every day of it. Her community, you learn so much. You feel like you're just really a part of the conversation. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. She's so knowledgeable. I respect her so much. And every time there's a trial that I'm interested in, if she's covering it, I will watch it with her coverage. Anyways, with that being said, today we're going to be going over Donna Adelson's emails. Now, if you don't know about this case, I'm editing my video about it right now. It's a very, very long video. And it's very complicated. I did not add everything in it. Hopefully, I covered it enough. But there's so many minute details. We might have to cover the case in full and watch these people's trials, but we'll get there. So what we're going to do today. Okay, so hold on. My chat. Hold on. Okay, so Donna Adelson. Okay. I don't even know how to explain this to you. Wendy Adelson and Dan Markel were married, okay? Wendy Adelson and Dan Markel have 2 kids. They're then getting a divorce. The divorce is very contentious. Donna, Harvey, and Charlie Adelson. Donna Adelson and Harvey Adelson are Wendy's parents. Charlie is Wendy's brother, and they want her all to move to South Florida, Miami. She loses this battle in the law in the judicial system. They're like, you cannot relocate. You have to keep the children with their very present father, Dan Markel. Donna Adelson, Charlie Adelson, then devised this plan to have Dan Markel killed. Charlie Adelson is dating a woman named Catherine McBanois, who then hires her ex-baby daddy, Sigfredo Garcia, and a man, Luis Rivera, to go from Miami to Tallahassee to kill Dan Markel. Very complicated. All very, very complicated. So, yes, here to listen to that crazy old entitled woman. Whoa, she thought she was untouchable. When I tell you her trial blew my mind. Blew my mind. So one of the things that I want to talk about today is her emails. There is a man named Stephen B. Epstein, true crime writer. I found what a wonderful job, by the way. I found all of the emails in order, May to June of 2013 to February of 2014, when Dan Markel is killed, July 18th of 2014. And then he's pronounced dead. He was shot in the face, July 18th of 2014, and then he was announced dead July 19th, the next morning of 2014. He was 41 years old. So if it gives you any point of reference, I am 40. This is a man still living his life. And he was so brutally taken. He was an active father. He was a law scholar. He was a professor, and all around, from what people say, a wonderful man. So the reason that I want to go over this is because you have to remember that during this contentious divorce, Donna Adelson had placed herself in the middle of it. The divorce is between Wendy and Dan. Donna definitely put herself in the middle of it, almost as if she was the one getting divorced from Dan. It's very clear when you hear about some of these emails inside of the trial that Donna wanted a win. She wanted a win so bad. But, she wasn't going to get it. So she resorted to murder. And I don't have to say allegedly because she was convicted on all counts. Now, she will tell you that she never, ever had to, or never was a part of this. I don't believe it. I believe that everybody knew. The only person I think maybe didn't know was Harvey. At this point, honestly, everybody knew. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. I appreciate you guys being patient with me while we're doing timestamps. I'm trying out a new thing, and then, I'm trying to make the replay experience much better for you guys. So let's get into these emails. Hello, guys. I hope you are all doing very, very well. And just as a quick recap, I go live Monday, Wednesday, long form videos on Thursday, and shorts every day. So, yeah, let's get started. So this is where I found this. It's by Stephen B. Epstein, true crime writer. Donna Adelson's emails to Wendy. So the reason that I want to read them before we get into the long form video of this is because I think it's important to understand the family dynamics. Only Me Baby says this woman was the mastermind. And it's funny because they said Catherine McBanois was the mastermind. Charlie Adelson was a mastermind. Donna was the mastermind. I believe Donna pushed Charlie. Charlie pushed Catherine, and so on and so forth. So let's get into the first one. Now, this is from Donna to Wendy. Info regarding his memorandum of law. Now, will they come from Wendy? I don't know. I really don't know if they will. If she's guilty, I hope they do. I hope they do. The children who have been destroyed in this case, there are two children between Wendy and Dan Markel who now don't have a father. And if Wendy goes to jail, they won't have a mother. They don't have a grandmother, and they don't have an uncle. Charlie Adelson has a child of his own. Catherine McBanois and Sigfredo Garcia have two children of their own. I'm not sure if Luis Rivera is a father. But all the children that have been destroyed by this case alone is insane. It's insane. But yeah, it's a domino effect for sure. You know what? The prosecution did such a great job saying that they're like train cars. Not all of them are touching directly, but they are all connected. And it's so true when they laid it out. You know what? Donna Adelson's trial is actually relatively short, so we might have to watch that in full. I don't know. I'll have to figure out a way to do it. Or at least maybe watch the testimony and cut it down. Or maybe I'll do that for members only. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But it is so crazy. And the reason that I want to read these emails is because in the trial, what they do is they just highlight the parts that they need, right? And that, whatever, I get it. It's a trial. But also, I think it's important to read them in their full context, which is why we're doing this. So this is Dear Wendy. This is from Donna. Okay, I just saw this email this morning. Obviously, his 23-page rant was insufficient, so he's trying to push the court to deny hearing your petition. Again, I am not a lawyer. So now, also, Wendy is a lawyer. She teaches law. Okay? And then, Dan, also a lawyer, also a law professor. Donna, again, I'm not a lawyer. Okay. The other thing is, too, is, I get it, right? Like, I have a friend going through a contentious divorce right now. And, like, if you were to catch my text messages, yeah, fuck that guy. I get it. Like, if a mother were to come out and be like, yeah, fuck Dan. I totally get it. Like, as a mother, but also as a mother, isn't your job to, like, guide? I feel like a lot of what Donna did was, like, amp this up. Like, fuck Dan, we're going to get him, and it's like, you're fucking 60. Grow up. I don't know how to prevent any action your attorney must respond, or I don't know if to prevent any action your attorney must respond or not. Only you and she know that. However, Jibbers, which is what they call him, which is like their nasty nickname for him, has made his divorce a full-time job to attempt to get what he's always gotten. Which is funny because made his divorce a full-time job to attempt to get what he's always gotten. Ma'am, it's his divorce. And then Donna, Wendy's mom, comes in here and makes her divorce her full-time job. His job allows for a lot of time to put into this project, quote unquote. And you know as well as I do that all the research he's done on different case law to prove his point in his research, not his attorneys, no matter who did it, he is quoting 13 cases to show why the court would basically throw out your petition. Is Kristen answering this? Does it require an answer to make sure that it is not seen by the court as ignoring his rights? I don't know. You need to find this out. Also, when she's referring to Kristen is her first attorney in the divorce. The most important part of your divorce is relocation. Now let's talk about the relocation. Wendy wanted to move. Well, Donna wanted Wendy to move to Miami. Okay, they lived in Tallahassee. Dan is a very present father. This is a man who takes care of his kids every single day, drives them to preschool, takes them. They have like an every other week schedule. He's there at their soccer games. He's going to have lunch with them at their daycare, whatever it is. This is a very present father, a very loving father. This relocation from Miami to Tallahassee is about an 8.5-hour drive one way. Okay? So thank you, Mr. Pike. This relocation isn't from like one town to the next town. This is 8.5 hours one way. This woman wants her daughter to take these children, her grandchildren, away from their father. I sincerely hope your attorney understands that this is your non-negotiable. This is your non-negotiable. You will not back down on taking this man's kids away from him. You won't back down on it. You're gonna move 8.5 hours away, and you're gonna take his kids. And if he wants, he can follow. And if not, he can stay in Tallahassee. That's not my problem. It's not my problem that the children should have their dad around. Lots of things are negotiable. That's the one thing you cannot let her think, okay, well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. She needs to hear from you how serious you are about this and how it will benefit the children with a close-knit family support system, as well as your significantly better paying job with hours much more flexible than your current job, so that you can spend significantly more time with your children, which requires teaching hours, office hours, court appearances, meetings with med school people, and multiple trips away from home. So I'm curious. I would love to talk to Donna. How does it benefit these children to take away an active father? I'll wait. Those trips need to be coordinated with a very angry man who will not be cooperative with you in this regard, which is not true. Dan was trying to be as, hi, Midell. Dan was trying to be as flexible as possible as he could with sharing time with Wendy for his kids. We've seen it in emails. We've seen it in text messages. For example, this past weekend, you had your annual conference for blank at the time of his regular NYU crap was taking place. For example, this past weekend, you had your annual conference for blank at the same time his regular NYU crap was taking place. Regular. So you had a conflict in time. He didn't say, I go to NYU every month and this is your annual meeting. I'll stay with the children and you go. Of course not. Danny thinks he's a very important person. And as always, he and his needs come first. They were both doing work things. It was a conflict of time. It wasn't like she was going for his annual thing and he's like, I'm going to the fucking bar with my friends. So without your parents as backup, one of you would have had to stay home with the children. Yeah. That's what happens. And she's lucky that she has parents to help her out. I don't. I know a lot of other people who can't do certain things because they don't have people to help them out with their kids. That's one of the things that comes with having kids. You have children. You are required to take care of said children. And if something comes up and you can't find anybody to take care of your kids, who takes care of your kids? You do. It's a part of being a parent. What happens if she was supposed to go to this annual thing and Dan had to go to his thing and one of the kids is sick with the flu and you can't find anybody to babysit them because they're vomiting and they have a fever? Guess what? You don't go. Do you know how many things that me and my husband haven't gone to because our kids have been sick and you can't ask a babysitter to come and babysit your kids when they have 104 fever? Actually, great example this year. This year, I missed the memorial of one of my best friends, my lifelong best friends. She passed away, and my husband, or I'm sorry, my son, on the day of the memorial, had 104 fever. Guess what? I can't fucking go. And I'm lucky enough that I was able to spend enough time with her in my entire life. And I think that spending more time with people in their life and having those good experiences are more important than memorials and funerals. And 2 months before, her memorial happened, we were able to have breakfast and I talked to her all the time. But sometimes things like this happen. And guess what? You have to be a parent because you chose to have children. And being a parent comes first. Guys, I'm feeling fired up today. I'm feeling just fired up. Fired up. It is what it is. Thank you, Midell. But she would have understood. She would have understood. She would have been like, she doesn't care. Listen, I'll tell you about my friend Kate one day. She was awesome. She was awesome. Awesome. So without your parents to back you up, as one of you would have had to stay home with your children, your attorney needs to understand that your mother worked full-time in this family's dental practice until September when she felt she was needed by you for the well-being of the children to get them through a transitional... oh, my God. So this is about me. Also, do you know that Wendy Adelson had $500,000 in the bank? That bitch couldn't have gotten a babysitter? Hold on a second. My mother-in-law's calling. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry, that's my mama-in-law when she calls you Ian. So, okay, she's on her way up for my daughter's birthday, and my daughter doesn't know. So, surprise. Anyways, I love that she makes this about you. Your attorney needs to understand that your mother worked full time. I worked full time at the family's dental practice until September when she felt she was needed by you for the well-being of your children to get them through a transitional time with people who love them and see them frequently and with whom they share great affection. She does watch the live stream, actually. She watches all my content. If I tell you, if there is one person who supports me, oh my God. I was just going to say, like, if I needed somebody dead, my mother-in-law might do it. But my mother-in-law, like any crazy scheme, if I'm like, hey, I want to do this, she's like, I believe you. I believe in you. You can. Anything. Her and my husband feed all my Delulu all the time. But the other thing is I love that it's like, so without your parents as backup, Wendy Adelson makes a shit ton of money. They have a shit ton of money. You can't tell me that you couldn't have gotten a babysitter? Whatever. Whatever. Your father has made numerous trips by plane for weekends and changing the patient schedules around so that he can continue to spend significant time with the children. Yeah. Both the disappearance of your mother from the position of the office manager and the disappearance of your father from the practice for a significant amount of time has caused a decrease in practice income and the loss of some patients who feel it's either not being run the same way it was as when my mother was there full time or when my father is unable to see patients with problems and has referred them to other offices during his absences. Wait a second. Your lawyer needs to understand that I have come to help you. I have made the personal choice and I've had the luxury to come and help you during this time. And your father has come to help you during this time. And we've made that choice, even though we run a business, to come here and help you. And now we're losing clients over it. The call is coming from inside the house. What? Your lawyer needs to know that we've made the decision to step away from our business to help you. That's a personal choice, Donna. That's a personal choice. And every choice you make is backed up by a consequence, albeit positive or negative. Grace, we love you. Everybody, prayers for Grace. She's having a hard time. We love you, Grace. We love you, Grace. Grace is having an incredibly hard time. Prayers for you. Additionally, this loss of income affects my family because my older brother, also a dentist, purchased the practice from my father in mid-July of 2012. How does this affect, dude? You need to relocate because your family, who is interested in your children, which is great, who want to have a relationship with your children, which is great. My mother-in-law lives 5.5 hours away. She is in the car driving. That's a choice that she made. And she's coming to see us because her grandchildren are important to her. Yeah. But guess what? There's also other times when I'm like, hey, can you come at X, Y, and Z date? And she's like, no, I have things that I have to do. Sorry. Also, this loss of income, because my parents have decided to go to help my sister, has affected my brother Charlie. So everything already in this email is set up as a hinge on Wendy. Wendy, you're the reason that this family is losing income. You are the reason. Your divorce is the reason that this whole family is falling apart. He has a monthly payment to make to my father. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Charlie Adelson bought the dental practice from Harvey Adelson, from his dad. He has a monthly payment to make to my father based on the sale of the practice. Yeah, that's what happens when you buy a business. You know what? I think everybody should be poor at least once. He has to make a monthly payment to his dad because his dad sold him an extremely lucrative business. God. I think it should be a requirement that everybody is poor once. Honestly. It isn't fair to him decreasing the monthly income statements from the practice due to my parents spending so much time in Tallahassee. Which is a choice that they made. Not Wendy. Wendy isn't forcing anybody to go to Tallahassee. My parents spending so much time in Tallahassee. These are choices, Donna. My brother is unmarried and is a wonderful uncle to Benjamin and Lincoln. If I am able to relocate to South Florida, they will have an incredibly warm and loving family as an integral part of their lives, not an occasional 2-day weekend trip to visit. But you know what they won't have in Miami? Their fucking dad, who shows up every day, who takes them to preschool. Mr. Pike, the way that you just did that in my chat is the most diabolical. But if you aren't poor, merch. That is the most diabolical setup. I love it. Thank you. I love you. Okay. Response. Number 1, this is a no-fault divorce state. So his nonsense about no marital infidelity or abuse doesn't matter. Okay. However, a hot temper and verbal abuse is what you need to emphasize that you suffered under his reign. Quotations. His reign. But it's a no-fault. I love that she's like, it's a no-fault divorce state, but blame him for this. Oh, God. Narcissistic personality disorder causes major problems in a marriage, especially when one believes that because he attended Harvard undergrad, and Harvard law, he's clearly better and smarter than anyone else, including you. He's smarter than me. Smarter than me. Only an idiot like him would write that he should be the only one consulted for making decisions regarding the health, education, and religion of his children. Clearly, no one, including you, is as smart as he is in the regards. That's not, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. I'm never going to get through these emails. He should be the only one consulted for making decisions regarding the health, education, and religion of his children. Yes. When it comes pertaining to Wendy, yes. Yes. As should she when it's pertaining to Dan. In a divorce, the only person that my husband needs to be consulting with when it comes to the well-being of my children is the mother of his children. And vice versa. I mean, you can take other people's advice into consideration, but when it comes down to the people that you and I have made, then it's you and I that need to have that discussion. Except for Donna. She's like, but me. I get to make these decisions too. The money you move to an account for you is exactly half to the penny of the joint account, which is marital assets, which you're also not allowed to do during a divorce. When you are separated or you are getting a divorce, you are not allowed to move money. All of that is supposed to stay frozen. You are not allowed to just willy-nilly move money because you have to figure how you're going to split it. The furniture you took was the bare minimum. A bed for you to sleep on from the guest bedroom, one nightstand, and your dresser. You took 2 chairs that you bought 5 years ago at a neighborhood furniture store closeout sale for $50 each. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. But the thing is, okay, she also took all of this stuff while Dan was on, I think, a business trip. Dan left the house. Everything was fine. Everything was fine. Dan leaves the house. Dan comes back to the house. All his shit is gone, including his wife and his kids. Hi, Gary. And he comes back and he's like, what the fuck? You waited until I was gone and you took everything? And then you moved money? Half of what you think you're owed in the joint account? Imagine. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine coming home and like half of my house is empty. My husband, my kids are gone. I look in my bank account, half of my money is gone. I believe she took like $300,000. You got to be out of your mind. Out of your mind. You have receipts to show all the new furniture you purchased to relocate to a safe space, to a safe place. You absolutely must emphasize that the only reason you left when he was out of town is because of the threat. You'll leave without your children. Oh, I see. The threat. You'll leave without your children, without a penny, and just with the clothes on your back. It's super important for the judge to get the message that this guy is a big bully. I know she'll be able to read that when you submit copies of some of the emails he sent you. He feels as if he's said something. That's it. Well, that's not it. Donna. She's so diabolical, this old bitch. He says you did this while he was on a short business trip. How about the many trips to conferences, etc., this man has taken? How about the many trips to conferences? I mean, that's in quotes, so I'm assuming that she doesn't think it's conferences. But he traveled for work to make money for his family. How much time away from his family? You have all those documented. Now you need to sit down and figure out how many days away that's been. How about adding to all his 2-week trips to Israel, especially when you were at the end of your pregnancy? Sweet, caring, concerned husband. All right, so here's my question about this. Did they talk about him going to Israel? Was that a discussion? And he was like, hey, I need to go to Israel. And she was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to be. Or was he like, fuck it, I'm going to Israel. And then he left. And then she's like, damn. I mean, because this is why context is important. There's a lot of people who are like, if your wife's at home pregnant, you should be doing X, Y, and Z. I didn't have that with my husband. I'm at home pregnant. Why does he need to be at home pregnant? Like, go out, have fun. Because once a baby gets here, you're home, bruh. Like, I remember there were times where my husband was going out and like partying with our friends and I was home with our first baby pregnant. And people were like, I can't believe he's out partying. What? Why? What the fuck is he going to do? Sit here and watch me marinate a baby? He's his own person. I'm my own person. And if I needed him, his phone was always on. He talks about not knowing where the children were, incorrect address for the first 6 weeks. Let the court know that although he was never particularly interested in the children prior to the divorce, which sounds like mama wanted to be a sister. She sounds like she is the one getting a divorce, honestly. I have to tell you, like, if my mom or anybody, if anybody wrote me an email this long to read about my divorce, I'd be like, fuck it, trash. Junk, spam. Like, what? The other thing is, she says he wasn't particularly interested in the children prior to the divorce. Even Wendy says that he was a wonderful father, a wonderful and active father. He was advised to keep a diary and make sure that he shows interest now. You arranged to meet him the very next day with Alan and Lynn Grossman, mutual friends, and the children at a local yogurt shop so he could see the children were fine. You were in fear of his temper, so you did not want to reveal your address. However, 4 days after the separation, you arranged to bring the children to his house as his parents were going to be in town, and they were there for Rosh Hashanah holiday with them. The following week, on one of his uninvited treks to your office after he threatened you with federal kidnapping charges, which, of course, now he recants like he does anything he can't believe he actually did. You gave him your address. That was 1 week after separation, not 6 weeks. He says you took non-marital assets. What? Obviously, she says, I'm not a lawyer. Obviously, she's never seen anybody go through a divorce. Anytime you read a motion for somebody's going to write a motion and it's literally going to be 18 pages about what a piece of shit you are. If you've ever been in litigation, I've been in litigation, oddly enough, with my mom. And we were going back and forth through motions. And I have the motions. And it's about, with the way they write it, it's about what a fucking terrible human being. Everybody just wants to win their side. They want to prove their point. They want to win their side. So yeah, he's going to say they're non-marital assets. He says the children were 3 and 1 at the time this took place. Ben was 3 and Lincoln was 23 months. 1 month before his second birthday, which would still make him 1. So he talks about you both being well-paid professors with stable jobs. Yours is not a tenure track job with the economy as it is. There is no guarantee it will be there in the future. His trash talking to various faculty members about your mental instability has also poisoned your work environment, making it extremely difficult. I have to make this bigger. I am blind. I'm so sorry. Making it extremely difficult for you to continue to function there in the same way as you previously did. Your job also pays you half of what his job pays. So on your own, it is not feasible to continue to live even in the home you are currently renting. You have borrowed a considerable amount of money from your parent. That's a lie. And maybe she has borrowed money, but we know, hi John, we know for a fact that Wendy had at least 500 G's in the bank. We know that from court proceedings. I love that. You're rich. Cry poor. That's better for us. You have borrowed a considerable amount of money from your parents and must repay it for furniture, legal fees, moving expenses, etc. Bringing it back to her. Bringing it back to Donna. You've borrowed money from me. From me. I'm inconvenienced again by this divorce. My parents have paid all the grocery bills up to this point, for which I also have to reimburse them. I do not want to dip in the money from our marital account, as that will have to go towards supporting my children and for their future. Yeah, so will Dan's money. According to Jibbers, I want to know what Jibbers means. I want to know what she means by Jibbers. The relocation must show that the current arrangement for the children is deficient from the perspective of the children, and the relocation would advance their interests. This is something we have reviewed numerous times in other papers. This is something that we have reviewed numerous times in other papers, Wendy. Imagine getting screamed at by your mom in a fucking email. Jesus, Wendy. Review all that we've put together in this regard rather than have me repeat it. Obviously, the number one reason is significantly more income for you in a job that will also give you significantly more time with the children. I want to know what job pays you more for less work. I want that job. I want the job that pays me more to do less, because in a lot of scenarios you do more. They're like, "Hey, we're going to give you a raise. We're going to give you a new job title. You get to do more, we get to pay you less." That's what it is. It will also give you significantly more time with the children. For children at this tender age, nothing is more important than spending quality time with them, which your current job does not permit. So you're admitting, for children at this tender age, nothing is more important than spending quality time with them. That also goes for Dan. It's also important for Dan to spend time with them. The financial freedom will accompany this job, will allow you to provide educational and outside activities and lessons for the boys that would not be affordable under your current salary. Again, she is not the only one paying for these kids. Dan Markel would also be contributing. Number 2, the ability for our children. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, who's our children? What? The ability for our children to spend quality time with my parents and my mother, a retired elementary school teacher, would be a huge bonus to our children's academic and social progress. In my parents' home, each child currently has and would continue to have their own rooms with the appropriate beds, furniture, books, and toys. Again, my mom. The ability for our children to spend quality time with my parents and my mother. My mother. And exactly. I got to lube up my feet for that. Mr. Markel has become a religious zealot over the past few years, and the birth of our first son taking him. Oh my God. She writes this. She's writing this as if Wendy should just like copy and paste it and send it off. Mr. Markel has become a religious zealot over the past few years, and since the birth of our first son, taking him to synagogue with him as an infant is so that he can absorb the music and the prayers. Yeah. That. All right, listen. I was born and raised Catholic, okay? It's just what these families do if religion is important to them. It's called indoctrination, okay? I don't necessarily go to the church, but that's what they do. They think they're doing the right thing, right? So they take their kids and they try to instill those morals and values and religion inside of their children. Whatever happened to quality time? Also, he's become a religious zealot by taking his infant to the synagogue. Perhaps he should leave him at home? Did Wendy not also go to the synagogue with them? He has done the same with our second son. This is also to show the congregation what an attentive father he is. Or maybe his Jewish faith is extremely important to him. Which is so interesting to me because Donna, Wendy, Harvey, Charlie, all of them are also Jewish. The fact remains that the children are watched by teenage children of other congregants in sort of a playroom while services are going on. Mr. Markel picks one of them up to come back out at certain parts of the service to hear particular hymns and then returns them to the care of babysitters. Yeah, and I'm sure for those kids, it's so fun. It's a playroom with the other kids. She's acting like he's chained them to a fence outside the synagogue. And then he goes and he gets them and he brings them in so they can hear some hymns. And then he goes back out and he like chains them back to the fence and like tosses them some raw meat. And is like, here. This is done rather than allowing them to remain home with me. When I protested, he insisted, and he always gets his way. There are no Hebrew day schools in Tallahassee. Wait a second. So he's a religious zealot because he takes them to church. But you're mad because there's no Hebrew day schools in Tallahassee, insinuating that there's Hebrew day schools in Miami? So he can't take them to church, but you want to send them to a Hebrew day school. Mr. Markel seems intent upon religious training, but feels that only he could provide the best religious training for our children. He is indoctrinating them, not teaching them. If he truly cared about a religious school for them, then clearly one of the 37 Hebrew day schools in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County would be of a better choice for our boys. My home in Broward County is close to many of these schools and midday between Dade and Palm Beach schools. So you want the same thing for the boys, but he's a religious zealot. I'm so confused. It's the same thing. Donna, you're so confusing. I hope your attorney is researching cases when relocation was granted and what the circumstances were. Also, all cases are different, and because one case didn't allow it doesn't mean that should prevent other cases from receiving that benefit. Danny has said on numerous occasions, one I have on my phone as a saved message, what wonderful grandparents and in-laws we've been. He's known the children are very close to us and we'd be there to take care of them. What's going to happen in June when he wants to go to 3 different conferences? Don't let him go. If you do, you're enabling and facilitating your staying in Tallahassee. You'll be fine showing him that anytime he has a meeting he wants to go, that's fine. You'll watch the boys. That's the whole point of relocation for you and the children. He can continue to attend all these meetings he wants to go to and then arrange for frequent and extended visitation with the boys. Maybe some of the money he spends on his trips he can use to visit for the boys. If these are for work, it's going to better, he's going to make money for the children. I want to know what their net worth was. Um, God damn. There is no reliable public figure for Markel's personal net worth at the time of death. One data point court exhibits mentioned that he had a life insurance policy valued at approximately $2.6 million. A 2023 article reports the broader Adelson family, Charlie, Donna, Harvey, had bank accounts totaling over $8.1 million at the time of his death. This bitch can buy her own fucking groceries. What the fuck? Oh my God. A recent online profile of uncertain source reliability estimates Wendy's net worth at $3 million as of 2025. Maybe. This is what I could find. Poor me. So poor. I only have $3 million. Why can't I have $8 million? Like my parents. Another bribe to get him to allow another bribe. I love that. We are swapping baby recipes. Hi, Eljikad. I love that she highlights her own crimes. Another bribe. She's bribing. Sorry, I like to sit on my feet. Another bribe to get him to allow relocation should be the offer of plane tickets. I'm pretty sure Dan Markel can buy his own plane tickets. Since he does have family that would allow him to use their homes to stay in. But obviously, that's a last-ditch effort if all else fails. He's trying to show the court that your request is frivolous and that you should have to pay for yours and his court costs in this plea. Your lawyer has to let the court know that it's anything but frivolous. And isn't he also supposed to pay some of your regular legal fees? This bastard has not paid 1 cent toward your bridge gap alimony. Why? Why only 2 months of child support payments over an 8-month time frame? Loving, caring father that he is. Do you need info on grocery bills? I have a good many of them and can show the court what it's been costing just for that, with no support from gibbers. This bitch can buy her own fucking... She's a law professor. Does this woman not know what a fucking Aldi is? Where is she shopping? I love Badia baby tacos. You know what? This is a great point. What is bridge gap alimony? That is a great point. Bridge the Gap alimony is a short term of spousal support available in Florida and a few other states meant to help one spouse transition from being married to being single, essentially to bridge the gap between the end of the marriage and self-sufficiency. So like moving expenses, deposits on a new apartment or home, buying car, buying furniture, setting up utilities, and stuff like that. The maximum duration is 2 years, cannot be extended or modified for length. It automatically ends if either party dies or if the receiving spouse remarries. Great question, El Jagad. Thank you. Also find out from Kristen if she wants to pay us back now or wait. Oh, I'm sorry. If she wants you to pay us back now or wait. What's best for your case? Donna. I'm too angry to write anymore. I'm going to shower. Wash my hair and get ready for you and the boys to come. I have to go get all this hatred off of me. Dad said he'd look up the papers tonight or over the weekend that you may need. He even has the info on what Danny had in his IRA and 401k prior to marriage. I love that your dad is deep diving into what Dan had in his Roth IRA and 401k. Also, in a divorce filing, he has to hand that over in discovery. So, weird. Love you, Mom. Okay. Anyways, all right, let's go to the next email. What time is it? 51:58. Second email. Second verse, same as the first. All right. So the second email comes on June 25th of 2013. Please read. Very important, she says. Please read. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sick, guys. Sorry, guys. Hi, honey. Okay, just like it says on your necklace. Never, 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 never. Never, 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 never give up. Never give up. Never give up. It is time for action. Oh, my God. What a bitch. It's time to take control of your life and not let Jibbers think he's just won anything by having you remain in Tallahassee 8 hours away from the only family you have and lose out on what will be a job that will afford you and your children advantages that they will never otherwise be able to enjoy. Let's show this fucker what will make him absolutely miserable. That's the ticket, Donna. Let's show him. Fucking idiot. You know his weak points: money, religion, control. You have 5 weeks before your court date. I know you have a job that keeps you very busy. However, the rest of your life, and consequently Dad's, mine, and yes, even Charlie's, your brothers, will be affected by how well you can perform or act before July 31st. Our whole family dynamic hinges on you, Wendy. Hinges on you, girl. You can be a good actress when you want to. I've seen you in action. You need to put on the performance of your life. Lip sync for your life. Referring to somebody as Jibbers makes it sound like they're a part of a redneck cartoon. I don't know what that is or like what it's supposed to be, but yeah, that's what they call them, Jibbers. Jibbers hasn't beaten the Adelson family yet. You have a very strong family behind you. Just remember that. Dad and I have done everything we could to try to help you for the last 10 months. Now it's time to help yourself. Man, I need Donna when I wake up in the morning for motivation. I think she could really get me there. We believe that you will be able to make this happen if you can put these actions before. Sorry, I got too excited. Left click. If you can put these actions before everything else this next month, and you know that you've only got the kids a limited number of days to do this, we believe that Jibbers will be saying, "Stop this!" And you'll be telling him, "You wanted me in Tallahassee. My children are going to fit in this Bible belt." Insert banjo sounds. I don't have any banjos. I have crickets. I have crickets. I have an air horn. I have a trombone. I don't have. They're going to church every time I have them. I'm having them privately tutored at home to get them caught up for Sunday school classes that I've registered them for in the fall. The class time coincides with the service I'll be attending. Tell him that you've got a new outlook on life and a new hope, and you'd like to go to heaven. Perhaps he would like to join you and the boys at church. Okay, I have a lot of questions. About this. So, Donna Adelson is Jewish. Wendy Adelson is Jewish. Dan Markel is Jewish. Children, Jewish. I don't know math, but I'm going to assume that Jewish plus Jewish equals Jewish. Okay, okay. You need a banjo. I'll write that down. Banjo sounds. What is it? It's the dueling banjos. That's it. Yeah, dueling banjos. Banjo sounds. All right, we'll get banjo sounds. I'm writing it down. But, okay, so then you're like, all right, so we're all Jewish, but to piss him off, we're going to make these kids go to church. We're going to make them Catholic. Also, tell him that you've got a new outlook on life and a new hope, and you'd like to go to heaven. Are you saying that Jewish people do not go to heaven? Plan of action. Oh, God. I love that she lays it out in bolds. Take a photo of the boys dressed nicely standing at the front door by the sign of the Tallahassee church. Then change your Facebook status to this one so that everyone will see this. Dude, she wakes up. She wakes up thinking about this in the middle of the night. Okay. Perhaps a line under the photo with "New beginnings in Tallahassee" might be nice. This fucking bitch. It just gets worse. Within minutes, Jibbers should see this or will be getting calls from his friends, acquaintances about this. How happy do you think he will be? Number 2. Make arrangements to get the boys caught up with a private tutor, teenage Catholic church member who will come to the house, teach the young men about Jesus. If you don't have time to arrange for this to happen, I will happily do it for you. She or he will serve as a good babysitter assistant for you while you're preparing dinner, etc. So hold on a second. You're complaining that she needs to pay you back for groceries, but you're willing to buy a teenager to teach them about Jesus to get back at her ex-husband. Listen, Donna, I have a bridge. I got a bridge I could sell you. Okay? If you're just willing to burn money, I got a bridge. Okay? Goes all the way from New York to England. You could put your name on it. I'm just saying. Plan number 3. Let Jibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church, and you'll certainly invite him to the event. He should be able to go. Let him know that the Catholic Church is a big part of your life now with the boys, and you'd like him to be a part of it. As long as he wants you to remain in Tallahassee, the boys will be involved with you in church, related activities and ceremonies. Let him get used to it. I've already checked this out and a baptism can be arranged within 2 weeks. We can send out evites to Jibbers and his parents, sister, and anyone else you'd like to invite. Sign of having real faith is minding your own business. John Charles, I love this. Yes. Just mind your own business. Hey, George Strait sold me that bridge 20 years ago. She already looked into how fast she could get these kids baptized. Number 4, I'm looking into summer camp programs for the boys. We will pay for it, even though your broke ass can't afford groceries, even though you make $3 million. even if the boys end up going only for a few days, that they're in Tallahassee on the days you have them prior to the hearing. Even if we completely waste our money on this insane plan, we'll pay for it, but you have to pay us back for the meat and potatoes. Number 5, register them for toddler classes at church. I've looked into this, and even if they don't go, we can show Gibbers that they are enrolled for the fall semester. You know, I have to tell you, there is something about when people get sentenced in court that makes my stomach turn. It makes me feel really bad. Do I think that people should do time in jail? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. But when I hear that and they all say guilty, I'm just like, ugh. It was like Robert Murdoch, right? Like, or not Robert Murdoch. What was his name? Andrew? What was his Matt? What was his name? Somebody help me. Alex Murdoch. Who's Robert Murdoch? I don't know. Who's Robert Murdoch? Hold on. Robert Murdoch. Who's that? Who is that? IMDb? Robert Murdoch. I don't know who that is. Okay. Anyways, but that's like when Alex Murdoch got sentenced and I felt like so terrible. Do I think that he should be in jail? Absolutely. If you were to tell me like somebody sentenced him to guilty, I'd be like, good. But when I hear it like in the court and they're coming out and they're reading the sentencing, my stomach, like I could poop. I could poop. The reason millionaires stay that way is because they don't want to spend their own money. You're right. You're a man of classes. And you cannot tell anyone this is an act. Somehow it will get back to Gibbers. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. I knew I shouldn't have trusted you, metal man. She is serious. That's how you know how serious she is, because there's so many exclamation points. Take control from him. Get to him psychologically. He's going to want you to stop this. Wendy, you've been through a very difficult year. You've had to make a huge decision. You did that. It was the right decision. Now you have one final opportunity to make him angry. We wanted him ticked off so that he realizes that he could lose control over his kids. We plan to make a financial offer to him to allow this relocation. You need to work this plan, and we'll help you through it so that it may affect how much we will offer him. Maybe he'd be willing to let you relocate if he knew his children would attend a private Hebrew academy like Donna Klein in Boca. That's such a funny thing. Like, can you just hear like Donna, just some like old lady on the phone? You know, like my good girlfriend, Donna Klein in Boca. You know, she goes to that Hebrew academy down in Boca. Boca Raton. Oh, Gibbers either referred to the fact that Wendy referred to Dan as, JB, which evolved to Gibbers, or Dan spoke in gibberish, according to Wendy. Interesting. Managed to find that on Reddit. Huh. Or perhaps he'd like them, or perhaps he'd like them to, oh my God, I can't read. Or perhaps he'd like them to invite him to a Christmas party at their other Sunday school. You have a little over 3 weeks till mediation. Let's get this going now. I know you would never want to think that, oh my God, maybe she is Catholic, because the guilt oozing from this email. I know you would never want to think that you didn't do absolutely everything you could to try to come down to your family. I know that about you, Wendy. Between living down here and having a job that will give your children the lifestyle that they deserve, your life and for sure the future will be significantly better. Gary told us he is not going to hire anyone until after your court hearing and after we try to make a financial offer to Jibbers. Donna Klein down in Boca. Oh, interesting. Thank you for finding that. We don't want Danny to continue his religious influence over these children any more than what he's done. So let's try to pretend to convert them to Catholicism? What sense does that make? I feel like I'm talking to the microphone that I'm getting. If I have lipstick just smeared all over my face, ignore. If he keeps this up, and they won't want to eat in your non-kosher home, and if they see you don't want to attend their shul functions, you will be an outsider. As they get older, okay, but here's the thing. If he keeps this up and they won't want to eat in your non-kosher home, and if they see you don't want to attend their shul functions, you will be the outsider. Here's a thought. If my daughter, okay, listen, I was born and raised Catholic. My husband didn't really have a religious backing, but he went to Lutheran school, graduated elementary, junior high, high school, all Lutheran. And he's atheist, agnostic, whatever. We are not teaching our kids about religion because I want my children to make a educated decision. I can't tell you why I am Catholic. I'm Catholic because my mom was Catholic and she's Catholic because my grandparents were Catholic and so on and so forth back down the line. Okay? I want my daughter to come to me and be like, hey, if she ever wanted to be Catholic and go to church, I want her to do that because she wants to do that. And I have to tell you, if my kids are at the house and they're like, hey, Mom, I'd really like to start eating kosher. Like, I'm looking into Judaism. I'm looking into the Jewish faith. Like, I really want to do that. Will you come to shul? Hey, you know what I'd do? I'd support my kids. And guess what? It may not be something I'm into. Okay? I may not want to be Jewish or whatever. That may not resonate with me. But if my daughter was like, hey, I'd really like to explore this. Yeah. Let's try that. She's preaching about it, bad influence. Exactly. We always ignore the lipstick all over your face. Put a lipstick on a pig. Here we are. As they get older and more involved under Jibbers' religious influence, they will be able to request which parent they want to live with. Don't allow Jibbers to have this power and control over them. Then in reality, he's going to have the same control over you. Which is also not true. That's not true. If they love their mom, imagine a world where two parents could coexist and co-parent and do a good job and they'd want to stay with their mom. What a concept. God damn it, Donna. Dad and I have changed our lives this year to support and assist you and the boys in every possible way. Just know that. Charlie has accepted the loss in the office business income for us to do this because he loves you and only wants the best possible future for you. It's time for you to show us that you can put on the performance of your life for the next few weeks. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Love is the best thing. I don't get parents who love their children, but with conditions. Exactly. I love you, except if you don't want to do the things that I want to do. Ugh. Please call us after you read this. We're waiting to talk to you. If you have any other ideas to make a last chance for relocation to happen, please let us know. Okay. Kissies, kissies. We send this letter with our love and only with the best intentions, except for when it comes to your children, because we'll do whatever it takes to disrupt their lives and use them as pawns in a contentious divorce. Sent from my iPad. Donna is my nightmare. All right, let's get to email number 3. Shall we? All right. Email 3. Let's see. Wendy, please read this. Sent from my iPad. Dear Wendy, dear diary. Dear diary. Fucking Wendy. Unconditional love. What do you think she is? An all-you-can-eat buffet? And like using the kids as a weapon as a way to hurt your soon-to-be ex or your ex. That's not right either. Yeah, accept the fact that, I'm sorry. Did you miss the part where this is from Donna Adelson sending these emails to her daughter, Wendy Adelson, who's the one actually going through the divorce? This is Dan Markel's mother-in-law. Yeah, it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. Dear Wendy, since neither one of us feels up to talking, let me share with you what we're all feeling as far as your response. What's the response? When I wrote to you this morning, we felt that you had reasonable thoughts as we felt that you had reasonable thoughts on your own divorce. They are talking about her divorce and her mom. We feel as though you have reasonable thoughts. Sure. Bitch, she's a 40-year-old woman. What? Start writing your diary. Well, she's going to prison. So, thought that you had reasonable thoughts as to what the judge might do or say or think regarding the charade we had hoped you would participate in. However, the more we think about that, we begin to realize that you and we have no idea what this judge will do or say or think. Who would have thought that after paying an attorney $600 per hour for 10 months, she would take an hour and a half of testimony, not even bother calling gibbers to the stand, and decide that family support for very young children evidently means nothing. Family support also means their father being in their life. And a job that pays 10 times what your unsecured, untenured, and dependent upon state budget cuts job pays in Tallahassee will be just fine for your children. Ugh. Your job as a law professor? Ugh. God. Does she care that after expenses you'll save next to nothing for the end of the year? What is Wendy spending her money on that she can't save from $500,000? The way I could make $500,000 last for the rest of my life. And I, at minimum, have another 40 years to go. Does she care that very little, if anything, will be put away for the children for their current and future education? Well, Donna, you were willing to blow it on some teenager to teach them about Jesus, even though you didn't take them going to church seriously. You were willing to blow it on Catholic classes that you weren't going to send them to. Why don't you invest in their fucking future? Does she care that extracurricular activities, sports, trips, eating out in restaurants will always be a financial challenge for you if you provide for the boys? For you to provide for the boys? Is it possible that if Wendy could co-parent with her children, they could both come up with or co-parent for her children, that they could both come up with a plan on how to get these things moving forward for their kids? Clearly, she did not take into consideration the future earning potential and benefit for your children. She didn't care that there's no backup support system when one of your preschoolers is sick. All she cared about, she didn't care that if somebody's sick, If one of your kids is sick, you fucking stay home. You had kids. That's how the cookie crumbles, Donna. All she cared about was the father hasn't been pulling out their toenails. You should give up any financial betterment for you and the children and raise them in a place that you agreed to go to because Jibbers only had FSU as a job offer. Of course, as a graduate of FSU Law School and a native of Tallahassee, she sees nothing wrong with living there. Also, they lived in a very affluent neighborhood. How much was their house? Marital house. They lived in a very affluent neighborhood. I'm grateful for every day someone didn't pull out my toenails. Ah, yes. She sees it as okay that they lived in Tallahassee. Do you guys want to know how much their Tallahassee home cost on Truscott Drive? $600,000 when Wendy and Dan bought it in the mid-2000s. $600,000 in the mid-2000s is what they bought it for. And Donna's like, in Tallahassee? Yuck. So right now it stands at $500,000 to $550,000. And I wonder if that was because there was a murder in the home. Obviously, as a native of South Florida, you know better. You know better. Donna's straight like, Tallahassee is trash. Our point is obvious that you and Kristen haven't figured out the judge so far. You were both shocked at the rapid decision based on nothing that was presented. So how do you think at this point you can figure out what the judge will say regarding your decision to introduce Christianity into the boys' lives? The point of the matter is a judge is not just going to allow relocation if you have a present and involved father. They're not. People go to prison and change their religion all the... Oh, my fucking God. People go to prison and change their religion all the time. People go through difficult times and find Jesus. Jesus was Jewish. He had positive teachings. He gives people hope. And best of all, you get to go to heaven in the end. Shut the... Sounds good to me. Wait. How does this get worse? Sounds good to me. This just keeps getting worse. Obviously, it will sound good to Judge Hobbs. She goes to church. There were multiple donations from her church pastors and ministers on her financial contributions website. God damn, Donna is a thorough bitch. She's a Southern black lady. How do you know it won't be music to her ears to hear this? Some possible options on Judge Hobbs' decision regarding Jewish holidays with the boys. As far as losing the children on Jewish holidays, there are a couple of alternatives to this. First of all, it may happen, but unlikely. He is entitled to half of the holidays and alternating those holidays each year with you. You may be interested in the teachings of Jesus because Jibbers has certainly ruined Judaism for you in the extreme way he practices it. Or she could find Judaism on her own accord and find her Jewish faith in her own way with her own sons. No. No, El Jacad, this is Donna. This isn't even Wendy. This is Donna, Wendy's mom. This is Donna Adelson, her mom telling her what to do in her own divorce. None of this is Wendy. These are all emails from Donna to Wendy. Donna is acting as if she is currently going through this divorce. However, if the judge questions how much of the Jewish holidays you can have, you explain that your parents and brother are Jewish and they will be coming to Tallahassee to spend those holidays, or the half that you are entitled to, or perhaps even the 60% that you are entitled to with the boys. Okay, so what's the problem? Yeah, Donna double sucks. Secondly, so what if by some crazy stance the judge says, okay, Jibbers can have all the Jewish holidays? Then if our bribe doesn't work, you tell him during the school year that you'll take the kids out of Sunday school at church and cancel their upcoming baptism if he shares those dates with you. If not, keep them there. Yeah, Donna is racist as fuck. Yeah. So if he doesn't share the Jewish holidays, you're like, listen, if you share the Jewish holidays, I won't make the kids Catholic. Even though I'm not Catholic and even though I don't believe in Catholicism. Okay? But if you share those holidays, then I won't do any of that. But if you don't share those holidays, then these kids are going to be fucking altar boys. Third, since there is a separation of church and state, she'll go by whatever schedule you are given and tell you to work it out, holiday arrangements between yourselves. Yeah, because you two should be able to be fucking adults. Who declares which are legitimate holidays and which aren't? Shmini Azarit? Who is that? What does this mean? Uh-oh. My Google doesn't work. Wait. Oh, and she spelled it wrong. Stupid. What is the meaning of Shemini Azarit? Meaning 8th day of assembly is a Jewish holiday immediately following Sukkot that is a festival in its own right, not simply on the last day of Sukkot. The holiday signifies a unique and separate relationship between God and the Jewish people, celebrated with special prayers, especially a prayer for rain. It is also known for its part in celebrating Simchat Torah, which rejoices over the completion and restart of the annual Torah reading cycle. So these holidays are important to you. You know about them. But you're like, Catholicism. Instead of just like doing Judaism or Judaism and having Jewish faith in your own house and doing it your own way and having your own beliefs aside from Dan and teaching the boys. Dan can teach the boys faith in his own way, and you can teach the boys faith in your own way, and they can try to find it somewhere in the middle. You're just like, no, fuck it. We're going to make them Catholics. This makes no sense. I demand custody of little Ham. Oh, the quickest way to ruin something is to try to control it or manipulate it. Yep. Absolutely. Obviously, the court isn't out to help you. It's clear since Judge Hobbs' last ruling that she could care less about anything you had to say in your behalf. You need to help yourself. Okay. That's telling. Well, since the court isn't going to do anything about it, you need to do something about it. Is that so, Donna? Is that why you hired a hitman to kill your son-in-law? Because the court wouldn't do what you wanted to do about it? You know, Wendy, most of the wars that have been fought over the last couple of thousands of years have been over religion. Religious wars and Wendy and Dan Markel's divorce, I don't think are this in the same category. I don't Charlie brought up a good point when he said that Americans were dropped behind enemy lines during World War II wearing N uniforms to get what they wanted. Wow. We've resorted as Jewish people with Jewish faith. How does one even go about hiring a hitman? Well, my long form video will tell you. I'm editing it right now. It's a doozy. They had a job to get done, and they did what they needed to do to accomplish it. You have a job to get done in a very short time frame to accomplish it. If you dressed your kids up in Hitler Youth uniforms and brought them down here, I could care less if it was an act of defiance and would show Jibbers that he's not in control. Okay. I, Donna Adelson, as a Jewish grandmother of Jewish faith, hate my son-in-law so much that it would be acceptable for my daughter, who is also Jewish, to dress her children up, who are 3 and 2, 4 and 3, in Hitler Youth uniforms. Are you okay? The bear was too stunned to speak. If your children are baptized, it doesn't make them Christian. Okay. So if through that logic, if Dan takes them to a synagogue, that doesn't make them Jewish. Ben and Lincoln aren't really pirates because they dress up like Jake the Pirate. It's an act. Okay. That same logic goes for Dan. Just because Dan teaches them about Judaism and takes them to a synagogue and eats kosher then doesn't make them Jewish. Again, yeah, I think Christians would argue that part about baptism. Not the... I gotta... Guys, what are we reading? You got into this mess with Jibbers by being so compliant and non-confrontational with him. If you just keep paying your attorney her $600 per hour and don't fight for what you want, you're no better off than if you stayed married to him. God damn, she's diabolical, this one. Oof. Mother guilt goes hard. Sure, you got rid of being unhappy in a marriage, so you don't have to live under the same roof. But he'll still be in control of everything, including what he wanted, sole control of the boys' religious lives. Why let him? Why not stand up to this fucker? Why not fight? We're talking about a lifetime of this. You have the boys a very limited number of days before the mediation takes place. This is all part of an act. We're learning that Donna's IQ drops with every paragraph. Yeah. It gets worse. It just keeps getting worse. This is how you treat your adult daughter? I guess so. Please rethink this. We're all willing to help you accomplish this. And that's all it is, Wendy, an act. An act of defiance that will put a scare into this jackass. It will infuriate him. It won't infuriate a judge that you found Jesus. She can't comment on your religious views. So then she's not going to comment on his religious views, which is what you're trying to... Oh, my fucking God. I love when people talk so much and they think they're so smart, and they are so dumb. It might be my favorite thing. You need to see the big picture. Imagine the smoke coming off of her keyboard when she types this shit. You need to look in the future. What a life without your only family nearby, teaching in Tallahassee with Danny always in the picture will give you. It's not a pretty picture. We want to see you help yourself. Not everything one has to do in life is comfortable or easy. Sometimes it's ridiculously hard. But Gibbers has tried to advocate and screw you since day one of this divorce. His vicious emails, his defiance with Dr. Pam's directions on asking him not to come to the school every day when he doesn't have the boys. This not allowing you to pick the children up 1 hour earlier to drive to Atlanta. His bad-mouthing you to the faculty at the school you will be working at. Everything he does is with malicious intent. What would you call all these fucking emails, Donna? Okay. Stop it, Mr. Pike. You're so smart. Why can't you do this for a few days? For the few days that you have the boys prior to mediation. You know him. You know which buttons to push. He certainly knows how to push your buttons. Take something from him. Right now, he's got everything just the way he wants. We need to take something from him in order for him to negotiate it back. This is your chit. What's a chit? Take something from him. Like his life, Donna? Because you fucking stole that from him. You also took that from your 2 grandsons that you love so much. The extremism that Gibbers is already teaching the boys is nothing more than brainwashing. Religion is brainwashing. It's control of the masses. It affects who your friends are, what activities you do, how you eat, how you dress, how you pray, everything. That's not true. You can find faith in your own way. There is no doubt that you will have 2 little Orthodox young men on your hands with the only religious influence over them being Gibbers. Or she can get involved in what her kids are doing and try to be a positive influence on them. There's a thought. Yeah, she needs to get her daughter out of the way. That's what it is. I need to figure out the word, YouTube. Right. There's no doubt. Oh, yeah. He's already got them thinking that people who eat shrimp are bad. Hot dogs are disgusting. Lobster is gross. Wait, Ben's not even 4 years old. Wait till he's 8. Maybe they think hot dogs are gross. Maybe they don't like lobster because he's 4. You're not teaching them anything different. You don't teach them that Saturday they can go to soccer or any regular organized sports activity or swim lessons. You let them play in the park or in the house. Gibbers has an organized plan that he's been doing pretty much since they were born. Shul. Shul every Saturday morning that he has them. Shul for every Sunday that he has them. Shul for every holiday. Shul parties. God bless. Shul. That will be their life. We don't want you to be the outsider who doesn't join in the rest of the family is doing. Join what in the rest of the family is doing. God damn it. Donna's so good at this. So good. Diabolical. Wendy, this is all about negotiating. After consulting with two attorneys who are both excellent negotiators, one of whom we will most likely hire for the financial offer, we are getting the same advice. So now the parents are hiring an attorney for Wendy's divorce that she already has an attorney for. You must take something from him that he wants. When you intelligently negotiate in mediation, you pretend you want the house, even if you don't. You pretend you want the car, even if you don't. You pretend you want the ring, even if you don't care. You pretend you want the kids in Catholic school, even if you don't. Yeah, you shouldn't pretend anything about your fucking kids because they're not a car or a house or a fucking ring, Donna. The kids aren't things. It's just the business of clever negotiation. And also, too, she's talking, you got to take something that he wants. You must take something from him that he wants. Like his kids. A relationship for his kids? With his kids? Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, they're not happy with the divorce attorney that she has. So they're going to get their own and do their own research. It's not what you or we are familiar with, but people in the business do it all the time. Both attorneys have said that this is how you get what you want, even if you can't take anything from him. Then what we do is just the financial offer. It's just not as good. And then they look at it this way. What's the downside? Worst case scenario is the judge does give him Jewish holidays. Then after a short period of time, you offer him taking the kids out of Catholic school, Sunday school, if he shares the holidays, or have a stipulation that holidays need to be reviewed early. You have a smart lawyer. She knows that all kinds of stipulations and temporary arrangements can be made at a divorce. Always thought divorce was between the married couple who was soon to no longer be married, not the in-laws. Yeah. That's not how it goes. Not in this case. It's between Wendy and Dan, who are married, and then Donna, who is Wendy's mom, and then Charlie, who is Wendy's brother, and then Catherine McBanawa, who is Charlie's girlfriend, and so on and so forth. You should know better. Wendy, you don't manipulate people. You're a sweet, kind, caring person. Gibbers. But she just told her to manipulate in this whole fucking thing. This is all about manipulation. Wendy, you don't manipulate people. You're a sweet, kind, caring person. Gibbers is a manipulator. You just need to play a role. That is a manipulator. You just need to manipulate. You see what I'm saying here? You see what I'm saying? When you do, what you're doing is jockeying for position. In the end, if you don't do this and it doesn't get the results we were all hoping for, then you can't blame yourself. But if you don't do this, exactly what I'm telling you, then you're going to have to blame yourself because I'm going to blame you for the rest of your fucking life. Okay? All right. You can feel good that you did everything you could. I'm not saying that we were not going to continue with hiring an attorney to negotiate and make a financial offer. I don't think you realize the type of offer we're considering. We're planning on you, Charlie, and Dad and I going as high as equal parts in a $1 million offer. That's $330K from each of us. Obviously, the more chits on our side, what the fuck is a chit? Chit is a small note or paper acknowledging a debt. No. Does she mean it like a chip? Like the more chips on our side? All right, I guess. Obviously, the more chits on our side, the better chances that we have. Oop. Chit is a negotiable thing. Okay, thank you. Oh, I asked that earlier and you answered me. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right. You have to show us that you're doing your part in this too. We're a team. We can do this without your help. Oh, we can't do this without your help. One of the possibilities in lieu of that much money, obviously we start much lower, is offering not just taking them out of church, but negotiating a settlement which could possibly offer both boys private education at the Donna Klein Hebrew Day School down at the Donna Klein Hebrew Day School in Boca. So did you ever think that maybe $1 million, $2 million, $8 million, $1 billion is nothing when it comes to Dan Markel's children? Because did you ever think that maybe Dan Markel didn't view his children as products? Because you couldn't pay me $1 million to take my kids out of my house away from me, 8.5 hours away. No, absolutely not. You couldn't pay me $1 billion. You're not paying me any amount of money to take my fucking kids. Which is funny because imagine if Dan asked to relocate the other way and take these kids from Wendy. It may include monthly airline tickets to South Florida for as long as he lives in Tallahassee. He may stop and think if he can get a job in a city he'd prefer to live in, it would be an easy flight to see his children. He loves living in South Florida. He's tenured. He has a very cushy job. Also, he loves what he does. He's well respected. His students love him. This is a great point. I wonder what the kiddos would say having their dad alive is worth. And I think what they paid in total was maybe $136,000. If I remember correctly. Total agreed amount, $100,000. But then they paid a little bit more. Yeah, 70 split 30. And then they bought some other things. So they paid $100,000, but there was like a little bit more. I know they got Catherine McBanawa a boob job and some other things. But that's it. That's all that was worth, $136,000. Teaching at his current schedule, and with a big chunk of money, he could live down here for the 26 weeks per year that he teaches and fly 2 days a week to Tally. He would have frequent and liberal visitation. You're not looking to remove him from their lives. So you want to get them away from him. And you want to get them out from under his rule. And you want to get Wendy out from under his rule. But you're then allowing him to come to Tallahassee so that he could see them with liberal visitation and do whatever he wants, which is what you're trying to get him not to do in Tallahassee. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. A boob job. Catherine McBanawa got new boobs. All you got to do is kill a guy. He needs to understand that. The negotiating lawyer will work with him. With his school teaching schedule, he could see that his children here a significant amount of time. His child support would be much less also. The attorney who will be doing the most negotiating will also lay it out on the line for him what the various payments offers would be worth to him in 15 to 18 years when he might want to retire. The amount is huge. This payoff can put him at that point without any additional income of his own in the end, $4 million range. Certainly nothing he'd ever save in 10 lifetimes. Again, money does not equate to children. Obviously, Dan can see that. If you try this, you really will not be any worse off than if you do nothing. So what's preventing you from just trying? I don't know how much of the big picture you're seeing, honey. I don't know if you realize that not only what you can provide for your boy's life, but for your own life all depends on this change. Aside from living in a far better city with family, a personal history there, and you'll also have a greater opportunity to meet people for your future. I'm sure there are many lovely women who are teachers divorced with 2 children. You could be a highly successful, highly compensated attorney who is independent and not in need of someone to marry you to help support you and your 2 children, which is funny because Donna was on a dating site sending matches to Wendy. She was vetting them. And she would send them over to Wendy of what would be a man that Donna would consider a good partner. Yeah, Donna sucks. Donna sucks. I feel really bad saying that because Donna is my grandma's name. So, Noni, if you see this, I'm not talking about you, okay? You can have someone cleaning your home, a nanny to help with your children, a lifestyle in which you and your boys can travel. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to really turn your life around and make a positive difference in the lives of your children. Your expenses with the boys are minimal. Wait until you see how expensive everything is in the future for them. We don't want you, and I wouldn't imagine you'll want to live paycheck to paycheck. Teenagers eat more than the yogurt these boys eat now. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so 2012 to 2013, as a clinical professor, she was making $54,000 to $57,000 a year. 2014, at the time of Dan's death, she was making $56,000 a year, plus whatever Dan would contribute, right, in their divorce, plus what he would be required to contribute through child support. And Donna Adelson is going to let these kids go hungry. That ain't happening. Haven't never been a woman. I feel I must ask, is it normal for your mother to send you potential boyfriends over dating sites? My mom hates me, so no. No, but when my mom and I were talking, she never, not over dating sites, but she would be like, hey, maybe you should meet this guy. Sometimes, like with women, I feel like they do that, but they just try to set you up. I know I hate saying bad things about Donna because one of my closest coworkers who I love dearly is called Donna. Donna needs a better hobby. Donna needs to take up fucking crocheting. Or, I don't know, anything that she could do. Everyone has a price. Now it is time to start. You said this divorce is not about winning and losing, that it's not about competition. No, it's not. It's about these kids, and it's about how do we navigate our lives for the children so that they don't suffer. You've already lost relocation according to the legal system. Well, it is about winning and losing. We're trying to get you a win. You deserve it. You deserve so much more than a life without family teaching in Tallahassee. Honestly, I'd be like, leave me in fucking Tallahassee. I don't want to see any of you motherfuckers. Life is tough. If you don't stand up and take a chance, you don't stand a chance. God damn it. I want Donna to wake me up every morning. Just talk shit to me until I get my life in shape. If you don't stand up and take a chance, you don't stand a chance. Please, Wendy, do your part and stand up to him. Make an offer to do this so that our group offer will stand a better chance at being accepted. Don't let his temporary move to Tallahassee ruin your entire life. We all want the same thing, a better emotional and financial life for you and the boys all the way around. I love how it's we all. You know, Grandma was one tough and very smart lady. I think about her all the time, and I think about what advice this very intelligent woman, a wonderful reader of people who loved you more than words. Oh, God damn, she's pulling in the grandma card. Could ever express, would say to you. She'd probably tell you to fight with every bone in your body. Fight for yourself, for your boys, and for the best possible life you can have. Damn, bringing up her dead grandma. That's some shit. You know, that's true. Fight for yourself, Wendy. We'll be here to help you. Just don't tell us that what you need to do now is move forward with a sense of peace. Don't come at me with that bullshit. Move forward with a sense of peace. I'll be damned if you move forward with a sense of peace. That's giving up. I don't believe that's what you really want to do after all we've been through together. And when you're literally a few weeks from this being over. Written with hope and love, Mom and Dad. Of course she's pulling the grandma card. She's used every other dirty trick in the book. God damn. All right, that's the third one. Here's the fourth one. All right, let's see, where are we at? 151. All right, who is this from? They're all from Donna. I'm dumb. Okay. Info for your lawyer when it comes to depo on Danny. Honey. Okay, your attorney must depo Elvis to see if any of the retirement accounts that Elvis has ever had a check written from them during the course of your marriage. If any of them were funded through any joint assets, your mutual Schwab account, or in any way passed through your joint financial accounts, then you are entitled to a portion of those accounts. Do these people not talk on the fucking phone? How dare you desire peace? Even if nothing was ever done improperly on these accounts, and he has some very large retirement accounts, let's aggravate him the way he's trying to aggravate you and make him do the research and show statements from every month, from the date of your marriage to the date of your filing divorce. All right, I got to tell you, I don't know if my friend is going to be okay with this, but I have a friend going through a very contentious divorce. Very contentious. And bye, John. And she deals with bullshit after bullshit after bullshit, and we'll have conversations, and it's just like, you know what? You just got to let it play out. Like, you just got to do what your lawyer says, go with the judge, just like stay quiet and just like let it play out. You just got to like leave it alone. Instead, Donna's like, oh, a bee's nest? Kill it! You need to see whatever he deposited into those accounts where the money came from. It's very possible some of it came from your joint Schwab account, and then he's up Schitt's Creek. Why shouldn't he have to do this? It's what I mentioned to Kristen in court yesterday, and she nodded her head. It's what I mentioned to your lawyer in court yesterday. Now she needs to do something about it. It just seems ridiculous for him to be able to depo you, but for you and Kristen not to give him the same crap he's pulling on you. It's time to give it to him. Also, what can your attorney do to be proactive to give him some grief? It seems like you're always on the defensive, but I don't see her doing anything offensive. I was really surprised that you didn't speak with her prior to meeting in court. Can you meet with her and work out a plan of attack? This one's really hard for me to read. Sorry, guys. Or some sort of strategizing so that you know what you're up against and what else he can do with it when is there an end to the nonsensical litigation and waste of the court's time and your financial obligation to your attorney? Yeah, I wonder if the attorney nodding her head exactly is like, okay. Because that's the thing. I mean, we all want to, like, if you're going into litigation, like, of course you want to win, right? That's the point of getting a lawyer. That's the point of going to court. You're like, I want my side. But there's a lot of different things that go into law, and you can't just do things. You have to file motions. You have to go, you have to file, like, what did I have to do for my sister? I had to file petitions. I had to file motions. You have to put things a certain way. You can't just be like, fuck it. It doesn't work that way, and it's got to be organized. I think it's really important to get the parenting coordinator to either testify or be brought to deposition, perhaps by your attorney, so we can get her to request that Elvis be court ordered for psychological testing. Why does she call him Elvis now? And if he's this off, perhaps he should not be permitted to take the children out of the country. What happened with the dean? Any help, or do you need to proceed to the provost? Something has to be done with this asshole. Call us if you feel up to it tonight. If you're too tired, then call us in the morning after you leave the boys at school if you can. Love you, Mom and Dad. God. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's look at the investigation. Let's timestamp this. One of these days, I'll have a quicker way of doing this. 155. Investigation. All right, so here are the crime scene photos. This is, oh God. All right, we shouldn't go through that. I don't want to go through that. These are the 911 calls. Wow, this guy really, really put this all together. Here's Wendy Adelson's interview, which we will watch in a separate live stream. This is surveillance video. So this is the Premier Fitness of Tallahassee. I think this is Dan going into the gym. So when Dan is leaving the gym, there's a gold Prius following. Yeah, I don't want to show the crime scene photos just because I find it to be, I mean, you can show some of them, but some of them it's like, ugh. And I don't know what's in there enough to decide if it's okay or not. Here he is leaving then the gym. And this is the gold Toyota Prius that was rented in Luis Rivera's name following him home. Oh, they have, okay, here we go. Dan walked through the door of the gym's front doors at 9:13 a.m. By the way, these guys were following him all morning. They were following him as he was dropping his sons off at preschool. Two men who were going to execute him 2 hours from now were following him while his children were in his car. Maybe leave a link so that people can check it out if they want to. You know what? That's a great point. And I'll put it in the Discord too. Thank you. Where's my Discord? Here we go. I have a true crime chat, but I also have a, where is it? Research Vault. There it is. I'll put it in there. So if anybody wants to go through it. Yeah, it should make your stomach turn cold. They were following him the entire morning while he had his children in the car. The Toyota Prius was in the parking lot while Dan worked out. At 10:34, Dan exited the gym following his workout. These are the last images of him before he was murdered. So here he is leaving the gym. At 10:38 a.m., Dan drove out of the parking lot in his black Honda Accord. The Toyota Prius was right behind him. Minutes following the shooting, the Toyota Prius was captured by a city bus camera heading towards the interstate. Someone can be seen in the passenger seat wearing a white shirt. The thought of anyone following me with my child, even though, yeah, it's just, it's gross. The Prius and its occupants were captured on an ATM security camera at a JP Morgan Chase in Pembroke Pines. 6:45, Luis Rivera, who's this gentleman, a black shirt in the driver's seat, and Sigfredo Garcia back here, who is also the shooter of Dan Markel, was in a white shirt in the passenger seat. So here's forensics. Let's put a timestamp for forensics. So here's the x-ray that we have. Bullet number 1 and bullet number 2. Oh, sorry. I see we're using the term gentleman loosely. Yeah. Sorry. I shouldn't have. Yeah. Shouldn't have said gentleman. Donna Adelson's emails to Wendy is what we all went through. So here's the FBI sting operation. Let's watch this, though. Oh, this video's private. All right, I'll try to find it. Hold on. Does this one work? No. All right, we have and then we have wiretap calls. Nice. All right. So this is an undercover agent. He comes up to Wendy and he's like, Donna. He's like, Donna Adelson. And he hands her a paper about what happened to Dan. And this is to kind of like kick the hornet's nest. Okay. And then these are all the wiretapped calls after that happened between Donna and Charlie, and then between Charlie and Katie, and then the recorded conversations while everybody's out, and all of that. Wow, this guy did an amazing job with this. And then Luis Rivera's proffer statement. Hold on. Why is this happening? Let me see. All right, this isn't going to come up. I don't know why it went to Bing. That's weird. But yeah, wow. So to show you guys, this is wonderful. Whoever this Stephen B. Epstein is this is so wonderful and so organized. So to give you guys an idea of who all these people are, this is Dan Markel. This is his wife, Wendy Adelson. This is them married with their children. This is Dan with his children. This is Charlie Adelson, Wendy's brother, right here. This is Dan and his parents, Ruth and Phil. This is Donna, Wendy, Charlie, and Harvey Adelson. This is Catherine McBanoa. This is, I don't know which one's Tato and which one's Tuto, but this is Sigfredo Garcia. And this is Luis Rivera. So these are all the people that were involved. Unbelievable. Investigation, the courtroom, why I wrote this book. Wow, what a wonderful website. Media, news, books. Evil at Lake Seminole. This is the one, guys. This is the one that we just covered about Mike Williams and Denise Merrill and Brian Winchester. Remember? So this is Mike. And his wife was having an affair with his best friend, and then they killed him. We just had that conversation. Wow. So he must be in Tallahassee. Yep, because here's Mike. Oh. Best personality, Mike Williams. Here's Denise, his wife. Here's Mike and Denise. High school sweethearts. Then they get married. And here's Brian and Kathy, their friends. The birth of their daughter. So sad. And then Brian Winchester and Kathy Aldridge, who were also high school sweethearts. Cheryl Williams, who's Mike's mom, where everybody said she was crazy when she was like, my son, something happened to my baby. And then Brian and Denise, while they're together. The funeral that they had, that must have been after they found him. Oh, that's so sad. Let's see. Deadly Heist? What's Deadly Heist? The true story of the Mile High Bank massacre. I don't know anything about that. And then there is, what else did he write about? Murder on Birchleaf Drive. Interesting. I don't know anything about that either. Wow. Anyways, all right. Well, let's give you guys a summary on the stream, and then we can just go to chatting. In this live stream, we went line by line through Donna Adelson's emails, examining tone, timing, and what they may reveal about dynamics surrounding the Dan Markel murder for hire case. We compared each message to against known evidence from the family communications to the investigative timeline, sort of. Breaking down how prosecutors linked, this is not what happened. Wait, what are you doing? No. Today we just went through the emails. That's what we did. I mean, I guess we went through some surveillance and some investigation. I don't want to do all the investigation stuff because I just don't feel comfortable putting that on stream. I don't like it. Or, just using it and whatever. If you guys want to find it, you have the links down below. You can go find it yourself. But Wendy Adelson's role, let's see. Along the way, we reviewed key details of the $100,000 payment. I want to know Wendy Adelson's role and financial background as to was she in on it? Did she know? And, my long form video, I am currently editing that. So I will get to that. Tomorrow, we have some Halloween stuff coming out. Mostly we revealed that Donna sucks. Yeah. Donna Adelson sucks. The worst. The most balls. She sucks. But you guys are the best. I had a great time today. I was really worried that we weren't going to be able to get through those emails, but we did. I'm not sure if we can find Wendy's emails. Let me see. Let's see. Wendy Markel emails. Tomorrow we'll be doing some Halloween cases. Tomorrow and next Thursday is what we'll be going through. These emails in full. So on Reddit, it's some very different things. My parents have always had the grandkids. I think Donna meant. Let's see. Some people, yep, I think Wendy is the true mastermind. I believe she knew exactly what she was doing, and she played them like a fiddle. She knew what buttons to push to get Mom riled up, knowing she'd complain to Charlie. He'd step in and take care of it for Mama. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we should watch their testimonies. I think that we should watch this case. I think that it's a great case to watch. I'm going as a professional mom. Yeah. Yeah. Professional? I don't know. Trying my best? Always. Always trying my best. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. And so tomorrow is the long form video. Next week, I'll be back to my regular schedule. I was able to hit my schedule this week. How fun. If you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe and make sure to put that notification bell on so that you don't miss anything. Other than that, I will see you guys next time. Bye.